The Gators still have the number 3 recruiting class in the country, but they've got a massive week ahead of them when it comes to attracting high school talent into the swamp. This week is important for a couple of reasons, and there are a few targets that we'll talk about in a moment. But what this staff and Coach Napier have done on the trail this cycle has been pretty impressive. They've absolutely crushed. But we also know that Gator fans are never satisfied, and UF's class has a chance to get even better in the very near future. So we are going to get into that in just a moment. But first, I want to talk to you about a giveaway that we are going to do on this channel. We are going to be giving away this pair of dome hats here in today's video. So make sure that you stay tuned for that. I'll give you a little more details in a moment. Okay, so I mentioned that this was a really important recruiting week, and here is why. The recruiting calendar changes. It goes from a dead period to a quiet period. So with a dead period, you can have no face-to-face or in-person contact at all. Quiet, you can have the players come on campus only, all right? You can't go to them, but they can come to you. So the biggest difference there is that these guys are now allowed to take these visits again. Saturday, UF is holding a huge event. It will probably be their last big hurrah of the summer. They're calling it the Grille in the Ville. There are several big targets who are going to be there and several big time commits. So it is a really, really important weekend for the Gators. Huge opportunity for them to gain more momentum on some of these guys or close guys that are really close. Great opportunity for them to kind of rub elbows with future teammates, guys that are already committed to the Gators that are going to be there. Let's talk about that list first. So Florida's list of commits that will be present at the Grille in the Ville are DJ Lagway, Xavier Filsamy, Aaron Childs, Miles Graham, Jeray Hawkins, Adarius Hayes, Amir Jackson, Fletcher Westfall, Kendall Jackson, Jamonta Waller, Amaris Williams, and maybe even some others. So that is obviously a huge list of guys who are already committed to being in this class that are going to make the trip to Gainesville to help sell some others on maybe joining them in that class. Let's talk about the list of uncommitted guys who are either going to be in attendance or at the very least are considering attending, and we'll find out later in the week if they are for sure going or not. This list is pretty important. Let's talk about him now. First up is Jamari Howard. He is a cornerback out of South Florida. He was originally committed to Michigan State, but he's wavered in that commitment. It's a Michigan State, UF, Miami, FSU battle here. He is 6'2", 175 pounds out of Miami, as we told you, coming from South Florida. He is a top 100 player on both 24/7 and on 3. This recruitment has been a little bit of an enigma. It's just not gone the same way as pretty much anybody else that we've covered on this channel this offseason. He was supposed to come on an official visit in June. Those plans got changed. UF continued to stay persistent there. It looks like it's primarily a UF FSU battle and that there's really no clear favorite. The other thing is there's no real end in sight for this. So it's a very interesting one to follow. I can tell why everybody wants him. He is 6'2" with an almost 80-inch wingspan. So this is exactly what Corey Raymond likes in his cornerbacks. Big, right? He also runs track. He was part of that 4x400 relay team that won Florida Relays. Another one of those two-sport athletes that we talk about Billy Napier really loving. The other thing is it's a huge in-state battle. I have talked on this channel so many times about the importance of winning battles for in-state kids, right? You want to win the battles against Georgia and Alabama and Clemson and Ohio State, and we are in it for a lot of those. But first and foremost, you've got to protect the territory in the state. If there's an in-state kid that Florida wants, they should walk away with them. So this is a really important recruitment for that reason. You want in-state kids. You want the kids that grew up here to be Gators. So I don't know that we're going to have an end in sight to this recruitment anytime soon. I think that it's one that maybe really will go down to the wire in December. But I do think Jamari Howard would make this class better. I think that Florida would really like to have him. I think that Raymond, has an asterisk next to his name. This is a guy he would love to have in the class. So it's an important recruitment to follow. And I think the Florida Gators can gain some real traction here with this girl in the Ville. Next up is probably one you don't expect, but I think that he's really, really important. Just before I get to him, I want to thank you guys for all your support. I'm pretty confident that we are going to get our goal of 5,000 subscribers before the Utah game. We only have less than 600 subscribers to go. And I appreciate so many of you jumping on board and becoming subscribers to the channel. So just for that, let's do a giveaway. Yesterday was 39 days until the Gators kick off. So in honor of former Gator kicker Chris Hetland, who is also the founder of Dome Hats, he wore number 39. We're giving away these hats to someone in the comments. Tell me how long you've been a Gator and why you became one below. I'm going to select a winner this week. We will mail them out to you. Dome hats, Gator created, Gator owned. Chris Hetland owns it with Jeff Whitaker, another Florida Gator kicker based out of Jacksonville. Gators support Gators. So we are going to be sending these hats to you. In the comments, I need to know how long you've been a Gator and why you became one. I'll let you know the winner in a video later on this week. All right, let's get back into the uncommitted guys that will be visiting Gainesville this weekend. Wardell Mack is another guy that will be here. This is kind of a UF, LSU, Texas battle. He is from Louisiana, so he is a heavy LSU lean at the moment. Top 75 player in the country, 6 foot, 170-pound cornerback. He is familiar with Corey Raymond because he is from Louisiana, so that helps Florida stay in this race. It's interesting that he is coming this weekend because, like we said, we did hear that it's a pretty heavy LSU lean, but it was reported by Gator Online's Keith Newber, and this is UF's chance to really make a play for him. Corey Raymond is somebody that I believe in. He is somebody that Wardell Mack is going to be familiar with coming from Louisiana. If there is anyone who could sway Mack back towards the Gators, I think it's Corey Raymond. I'm not sure that one visit is going to be enough to get him to commit to UF, so I don't think that that's going to happen this weekend. But I think it's a really, really good sign on a weekend where virtually every program in the country is hosting an event that Mack is choosing to be at UF. That is a good sign that at the very least, UF is still in this thing. Another is LJ McRae. He is visiting Georgia this weekend as well. There's rumors that he's going to spend one day in Athens and one day in Gainesville. That's obviously what the Gators hope will happen. He is a 4-star defensive lineman in the 2024 class from Mainland High School in Daytona Beach. Talked about him a lot on this channel. This is another kid that I consider local or local-ish. It's very important to keep those local kids home if we have the opportunity to. I think that this would really solidify Florida's defensive class. He's 6'6", 260 pounds. He's currently a top 100 player in the country, according to On3 industry rankings and 24/7 rankings as well. He is an top 10 defensive lineman, according to On3. I really think UF has done a phenomenal job with this recruitment. And listen, they need to just not let Georgia slide back into it. If UF can get him on campus, I think that that would get him incredibly close to shutting things down and committing to the Gators. We'll see what happens, but I'm putting a little star by this one. This is a big one to watch. Next up is his teammate, Zay Mincey. This is another one where he's potentially coming, but Alabama is working really, really hard to get him to Tuscaloosa this weekend as well. He's 6'3", 180 pounds out of Daytona Beach, like I said. He is a teammate out of Mainland High School in Daytona Beach. So he and McRae, not necessarily going together, but two really highly rated guys out of Mainland, local-ish kids. Mincey is a top 150 kid on both On3 and 24/7 Sports. He last came to Gainesville June 9th. He is considered a very heavy Florida lean right now, but this staff still has to close the deal. It looks like he will most likely play corner for us. That's right. You heard that correctly. 6'3", 180 pounds will play corner for us. Would be pretty large at that position, but this is the style that Corey Raymond likes. This is the body type. We need to keep him home. Zay Mincey needs to be a Gator. He's from Daytona Beach. He fits in exactly with what Corey Raymond is. This could be a huge pickup for this class. Another player that will be in Gainesville this weekend is 2025 five-star DJ Pickett. He is the number 8 player in the country. Currently, UF, FSU, Michigan, and Georgia are kind of the top schools that he's looking at. Obviously, 2025 kids, so that could change. And I included that 2025 kid because he is that elite, and also where he's from. He's from Zephyr Hills, Florida. That is north of Tampa, south of Gainesville. Probably only an hour-ish from the swamp. He is 6'2", 170 pounds, and he is the number 1 safety in the country in the 2025 class. Gotta keep local kids home. This is a big one. He is closest to Gainesville. This is a local kid. Like I said, it's going to be a UF, FSU, Michigan, and Georgia battle here. The Gators are going up against some really big-time competition and need to continue to make a push here, as he is going to be one of the best players in next year's class, and that could be a massive pickup for the Gators. Just like we told you with Mack, every program in the country is hosting an event this weekend, so the Gators getting him on campus is massive. And UF obviously is playing the long game here because he is a 2025 kid, and we'll see if they're rewarded for it or not down the road. Florida has been in a good spot for McRae and Mincey, and those two are really important for UF to stay in the lead for. It seems like Georgia is pushing really, really hard for LJ, and that's a battle UF needs to hold on to. They've got a really good defensive line class, but this one would really solidify that defensive line class as one of the best in the entire country. Mincey is also, like I told you, a local-ish kid. He's from Daytona Beach, like McRae as well. UF has a good secondary class with five-star Xavier Filsaime locked in. But Mincey is a kid that has been a UF lean for a very long time, and someone the Gators thought might join their class recently. Need to see him on campus this weekend. Need to continue to put that pressure on. This kid needs to become a Gator. Battles against Georgia and Alabama are not for the faint of heart, but this is exactly what we want as Gator fans. This staff has an eye for talent, and their evaluations are spot on. The fact that the best 2 programs in the SEC are in on the guys that Florida is recruiting is a testament to that. It is a testament to Billy Napier and staff's evaluation process. You don't get anything for just evaluating well, though, right? You've got to go out and you've got to win some of those battles. You're not going to win them all, but you really need to come away with some of these kids. UF has done that this cycle, but it's closing time now. When August 1st gets here, it's a dead period again, and in-person recruiting will be done until the season starts. The Gators have been incredibly strategic this summer. They know they have a very important season upcoming, and I think they tried to lock in most of their class before the season gets here so that they can focus on that. When a recruit comes on their official visit, they want the coach and the staff's entire attention. Hard to do that mid-season. So if these guys are already committed, already coming in, they can come to these games and enjoy what they see, live in the moment with the team, but they don't have to be worried about, learning about where they're going to go for tutoring or where they're going to live or things like that. They can focus on enjoying the game. We're 38 days away from kickoff against Utah, and the Gators, like I said, have a pretty full class, but we're going to see if they're able to add to it this weekend or not. Speaking of kicking off against Utah, we posted a video on Saturday about an update on the quarterback battle from inside the program. If you missed that, you can click right here to get caught up.